Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to this MarketVid Friday Webchat. My name is Rick Dearborn. These webchats are forums to share ideas from some of the best thought leaders in the field of online marketing video. Today's chat is sponsored by 10-Day Marketing Makeover and Gil Efron, author of the book How to Give Your Business an Extreme Marketing Makeover, which is available at Amazon.com. The principles found in Gil's book are the foundation of how we approach marketing video at MarketVid. Our guest today is Shannon Steffen of Exira Media in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shannon is an expert on search engine optimization, search engine marketing, and social media marketing, and has trademarked the term Human SEO, which we're going to be talking a lot about today. Now, this is an interactive web chat, so you're welcome to submit questions at any time during the 30-minute program by entering them into the Q&A window at the bottom of your screen, and don't forget to push enter or return when you're done. Again, we're not going to have a Q&A period at the end. We'll take questions at any time, so we'd love to have you to participate. Shannon, good to have you with us today from Milwaukee, where I understand it's very cold today. And why don't we start a little bit by telling us some of your background?
Well, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. My background is 15 years of IT experience with emphasis placed on philosophy and internet management, or I should say e-commerce marketing, globalized. And I've worked for companies such as Monster.com, Robert W. Baird, and others, and absolutely love what I do and love helping other people.
Great. Well, tell us a little bit about your company and what Exira Media is all about and what you do.
Exira Media is, first of all, Exira means excited in Dublin slang, for those that don't know. It's actually pronounced Isaira, but I couldn't do that to American-speaking public, so I decided to name it Exira. For people that know me, I'm excited about what I do. And for Exira Media, what we do, or what I do specifically, is that I help people get found on the internet, small businesses, nonprofits, that sort of thing. And I relate myself as being a logical artist or an internet, I should say, information technology philosopher, where I bring both the technology and the human together so that I help companies engage people by using technology, so that way they can convert, whether that be more traffic or that be actually making money online.
Good. Well, tell us a little bit about your client base. What's the range of people that you tend to work with in your business?
Wow. My clients do range. I have anything from a dog trainer who just lost her job earlier this year, and she decided to start her own business, so she's a power of one in her company. And I also have clients ranging up to Johnson Controls, Fortune 50 companies, where they need help on specific either social media realignment so that they can be found through search engines, or they need branding, or they need search engine marketing help.
Some of our people who are tuning in today may have heard or may not have heard the term SEO. Certainly it's a big buzzword in business. We all know it stands for search engine optimization. But tell us what that really means and what's involved with that in general terms.
SEO is a misnomer. SEO used to be search engine optimization from a standpoint of just what your website is all about. So keyword density and having keyword dense URLs, things like that. And it all was based upon certain limitations on site. Today, search engine optimization has actually turned into what I like to call social media optimization, or social search as it's known on the internet. And that is comprised of the social media entities actually feeding the search engines. So a lot of the companies now have to realize that it's not just what's on your website, but it's what you're putting out on the internet, it's your branding, it's what other people are talking about when they're referring to you or your brand, and bringing it all in. So I help companies or people, depending on what their needs are, to optimize their online presence so that they realign themselves correctly and they can be found through the search engines for the correct terms and the correct customer base in order to make money or friends or whatever the conversion may be for the company or the person.
What impact does video have on this process these days? Is it important? If you have videos on your site, does it help your optimization?
It's a twofold approach, actually. With the optimization of video, you need a certain element of engagement on any website or any presence. And video, a lot of people, one of my favorite authors is Sally Hogshead, which wrote Fascinate, and she talks about eye contact and engaging with other people on an eye-to-eye level. The thing is that people want to know who they're doing business with. They want to see these people. They want to feel what they're feeling. And video is a great way of actually engaging customer base. But you have to remember the search engine. So how are we bringing people to those videos in order to get that engagement is imperative. So things like the title of the clip, the tags, and the description, and where you're actually placing it that has the biggest following will definitely help you in search engine optimization, because once you bring people to the video, you bring them then to your brand, you bring them to your website, you convert.
Now, you've used this term Human SEO. In fact, I understand you've trademarked that term. And that is confusing, I think, to a lot of people, but you and I have chatted about this before, and I think it's a fantastic idea. Tell us a little bit about what you mean by Human SEO.
Human SEO started actually as a joke with another peer of mine, where he was asking for SEO information during a creative session, a brainstorming session. And I said, well, I am the Human SEO. And it stuck from there. And what it is, it boils down to taking that human approach to a technology standpoint. So we have the human engagement level because the humans are the ones that are our customers. They're the ones we need to talk to. But we also need to realize that in order to get in front of our customers, we need to be optimized on the technology side so that they can find us for the right terms. So if you're using something like a competitor's keyword in order to get somebody to come to your website, you're alienating the customer once they get to your website because they're expecting your competitor. They're not expecting you. So you need to optimize for the correct keywords, for the right target market, and geo-targeting and things like that actually come into play as well. So it's about the human and bringing the humans and the search engines together, and that's the way you convert.
So it sounds to me like it's kind of a combination of, shall we say, technology and psychology, or art and science, or something like that. That we depend on these search engines. We all know that we try to find out what the algorithms are that are out there and how to mathematically put the right keywords in and things like that. But it sounds like what you're doing is you're saying it all comes down to people, and it's really a two-pronged approach. Would that be a good way of describing it?
Definitely. The subtitle of my book I've been working on, which will probably be something like The Philosophy of Search Engine Ranking Success. And it really boils down to the philosophy. I do call myself the logical artist because I work with both sides of my brain. And that's what you need to do in business today, because there's so much competition out there. There's so many people out there that the customers want to feel comfortable. They have to know, like, and trust you. So how can you convey that on a human level and through the technology that you have? Because as we know, search engines are blind. You can give them an image and they can't see it until you describe the image to them or you describe the video to them. Then they understand it. That's what you're doing with the human engagement level. So you have to make sure it's a two-pronged approach at all times. And that's the success of it.
Very helpful, and it's a great approach. I think it makes a lot of sense. And it's a unique one that I haven't heard a lot about, so we're glad to have you here. Just want to remind everybody that if you have any questions for Shannon, put them in the bottom of your screen, and we'll carry on with that as we go along. And hopefully this conversation is stimulating some very interesting questions. You've also mentioned on your website, and we mentioned in our promotional materials for you, SEM and SMO. Tell us a little bit about what those mean.
Well, first you have SEO, which is the search engine optimization, which we already spoke about. That's optimizing your website, optimizing your linking on the website, and also optimizing the content. That's all pretty much on site, but there's off-site things for that as well. Search engine marketing is a pay-per-click, mostly, or paid advertisements. So Google AdWords, Facebook ads, and things like that, even white papers, are all considered search engine marketing. It's kind of a misnomer because SEO and SEM are kind of the same now. It's just, do you pay or don't you pay? And the links that are not paid are actually higher ranking than the links that are paid. So then you get into social media optimization, or SMO as we call it, or SOME. Social media optimization is key because now the search engines are actually, or social media I should say, is feeding the search engines. So if, for example, I had written a blog post not too long ago using a friend of mine, he's a social media Milwaukee person, and I had actually searched for social media Milwaukee, and he came up as #1 as my page on the search engine. And the reason why was because he liked his own page, his own domain. When I ran my algorithmic equation in the back end, he was actually supposed to be #7, not #1. So had I not had that engagement with him through Facebook, he would have never come up as #1 in my search. So because my friend recommends this website, it may be something I like because Google and all the other search engines are now equipped to understand that human engagement level through social media.
Great, very helpful. Tell us a little bit about your approach. When you're working with a client, what is your angle on things and how do you work with them in your business?
Again, another two-pronged approach. I can either work with a client on the front end where they're building a brand new website and they need consulting on understanding either a brand or website or their online bearings or their online strategies. And I come in and consult them on a website. I may look at the website because I've been a web developer for so many years and tell them, this is the way you want to look at the website because this is the way the search engine looks at the website. There may be too much code, there may be an open tag, the content may be down the page instead of up. And I liken search engines to high school students. They get really excited about school and they want to start it, and then as the year progresses, they get bored. Well, search engines are the same thing. They read your code or they read your website, and if they don't find quality content, they leave. They just up and leave. So I help on the front end of a brand new website being built, or a social media strategy for a new company, or even nonprofits or job seekers. And then you have the back end where you have an existing brand and website and you need to optimize it. So I'll come in and actually give them a strategy that will work with their current website. So it can be the ugliest website in the world, which I've had those clients, and I can give them the tools to say, okay, these are the fields that we can fill out. This is the information that we can share. Maybe we want to use social media to bring that back to your website, make sure there's a good conversion tactic on the website. Those things are all key. So I can do it on the front end as a consultant, or I can do it on the back end as a social media strategist, or a search engine strategist, I should say.
Good. Now, some of this stuff I think is a little simple and some of it's complicated. There are probably people asking themselves out there, do I need to hire someone like Shannon or another SEO expert? How much of this can I do myself, and at what point do I get deep enough in it where I really need to get some help and it's worth the ROI to have someone come in and help me at that point? So tell us a little bit about what people can do themselves and at what point they should seek help.
What they can do themselves is to understand their business. If they're running a business that they're not passionate about, that's going to be conveyed in everything they do. I know of many companies out there, especially during the political times, that they want to sell political swag, but they have no passion in politics. Customers know whether or not you understand your product or you even like your own product. They understand that through the content that you're giving and the keywords that you're using and the sharing that you're doing. So in that aspect, you want to make sure that you have a passion for it and you want to make sure that you can follow through with it. And that would be one of the best free tactics that you can have. Now, there are other things that you can do, but it depends upon your website. If you're using something like WordPress to house your website or your blog, there are tools and plugins you can use in order to put in keywords or to make sure it's streamlined. When you need me is, of course, always, no. When you need me is when you feel that it's above your head. When you realize at that point, you know what, I'm not getting the brand awareness, or my competitor's doing so much better and I can't understand because their website is so much worse than my website, or I have this new platform that I want to come out with, but I'm not sure how to move forward with it. So they may not be able to move forward with the video platform, understanding the keywords that go along with it or how that relates to social media. That's where I come in and help them and actually hold their hand. I don't walk away. But the great thing about being a solopreneur like myself is that I'm not expensive. I can work with any budget. So I give them an estimate. If they come back and say, Shannon, you know what, I only have a few $100s this month, fine. Because for me, this is my probationary period. So when they're making $2 million and I've helped them get there, they want to pay me $200,000 to help them.
Wouldn't that be great?
Mm-hmm.
As you can you see those questions coming in on your screen? Are those at your screen too there, Shannon?
No, I cannot.
Okay, well, I'll pass them along to you. We have a couple of questions that have come in from some producers down in Florida who are members of MarketVid. They're saying, the first question is, how often do you recommend video? And I assume what they mean by that is, how often you would want to have that on your site. And then secondarily, they're asking, what does it typically cost for SEO and how often does it need to be done?
The first question is easier than the second. The first question, as far as how often do you want video, it depends upon your market niche. If you feel that you need the face-to-face contact or that you have something that you need to share on a more human level to make them understand, because remember, we're talking about human engagement and human emotion. They want to feel what you're feeling. They want to get to know you. So if you feel that you have something that you need to share with them that words are just not going to convey, for example, like my energy, people don't understand my energy when I write, maybe. I use Dragon Dictate, so it helps with my energy. But when you're doing video, some people may get alienated by your energy. Some people may think it's a great thing. So it depends upon your market niche. I can honestly tell you, I run a dog blog. I actually own a dog store as well, but the dog blog, I have video for my dogs, my Labrador Retrievers. And the #1 rated video is them eating out of a bowl after I just bake some apple strudel. All they're doing is looking out of the bowl, and at the end my dog likes to cock her head every so often. It had over 40,000 page views in a month. But the ones that I thought were funny, like my dog rolling around in mud, not so good. So you have to realize what your customers are looking for, and so you can convey it to them in the most basic level. But you want to make sure when you do the video that you're optimizing. So there's 2 key things with optimizing depending on how you're displaying your video. If it's off-site on something like YouTube, make sure that you're using the title tag and the description and the keywords. Most definitely. Don't make it be clip 1, revision 3. Have it be keyword dense. So something like mine was Labrador Retriever baking help. So people looking for Labrador Retrievers automatically looked it up. Mine had chocolate labs in the description. Things like that that actually convey on something that your customer base is going to understand. The second thing is if it's on site, on your website, either way, even if you're embedding a YouTube video onto your website, always, or as much as possible, try to do a transcript. And the reason why is because Google and the search engines can't read the video text. They can only go ahead and read your words. So make sure you highlight the words in some kind of information in the body. Or if you don't want to do a transcript because it's too long, do a synopsis. Try to give some clear information, some embellishments, bold, those type of things.
So let me ask this, that's a good question, that transcript. What if you've got a 3-minute video? That transcript could be pretty long, but there's a lot of key words in there. Can you, I'm assuming we're talking YouTube here, can you put that long of a transcript in the description and have that work?
You could, but generally you want to keep a description or the content in a field like that somewhere around 300 to 600 words the most. So if you can condense it, that would be great. Some people will truncate it where they start putting a synopsis view and then they put a couple of the different transcripts and they say, watch the video for more, where it can either then go to the YouTube video or it can stay on site depending on how they have it display. But the keywords are definitely going to be key. If it's a blog post or embedded into a blog post, use the category field, use the tag field. Make sure that it's being highlighted as something that's relevant. Then you'll be able to have that keyword density that you're looking for. And I know the second question, which I remember, was about SEO and
what does it cost and how long should you do it, they're asking. How often does it need to be done?
It depends. It really depends upon a project. I have clients that will do it once a year, whether they're just looking for an SEO strategy, or I have retainers for each month where it's a small 5 hours. And the reason why I have 2 different ones is some people are inundated with well, I only have a budget for once a year. That's what my company's going to give me. For that, yes, I'll do a one-time budget. But remember that SEO is changing. In this last year alone, I believe we've had over 24 algorithmic changes that people are not aware of. They're aware of one, which is called Panda, which was for duplicate content. But you have to realize that everything's changing. Facebook is changing every day. That in itself has a search engine. LinkedIn has its own search engine. So each thing is changing. So I recommend doing it monthly, finding a company that'll do it for a small fee, such as what I do. I do it, like I said, for 5 hours every month. I have a retainer, which is a small fee based upon what the company can pay. Do not, if you find an SEO company that says, I'm going to guarantee first page ranking, or they want you to do $20,000 just to do some research before they even do any work, don't go with them. Those are all scams, and especially the ones that are overseas. Stay with a company that's in the United States if you are in the US, because they're going to understand your target market for this economy.
Now, let's get back to this idea of the importance of putting videos on the website. We've seen some data that suggested that, you know, if you just throw a video on your website, you're going to increase your search engine rankings by 53 times. And we quote that frequently as marketing materials on our site. But it seems like you're talking more about, rather than about that, more about the human appeal. That, you know, is the video engaging? Is that the type of thing you need to do to engage with your customers? But is there a, let's take the human part out of it now and get back to the logic and the science. Is there simply a logic to sticking videos on the site, and does that help too?
It does, again, to a point. If you're selling a product video would be great if you're trying to show how to use a product. If you're a consultant, definitely you'd want some kind of video or picture so people understand who you are. Maybe an introduction type of video. People watch them, and they do watch them quite frequently, and they like to share them. So if you have a video, it's engaging. So you are automatically, from a search engine perspective, not necessarily going to get more people coming in because of the search engine. It's going to be because of the viral sharing from other people, or it's going to be the fact that people stay on your website longer, which actually has something to do with your algorithmic or your search engine rankings, because once you click in, and if you click out right away off of a website, the search engines keep track of that to see how long you're on a website. That's what Google Analytics is for. So if you're staying on the page longer, there's quality information. Of course, having video, if you have a 3-minute video, you're guaranteed to have somebody on there for 3 minutes.
That makes sense. Let's get to this other question too that's on here. How much time a week should an individual spend on SEO for their website?
Oh wow, not per week. You'll go crazy with how many changes are happening. What I recommend is weekly checking your Google Analytics. And if you don't have Google Analytics, it's free. You can easily embed it onto your website. They tell you exactly how to do it. You just go to google.com/analytics. And it will help you track, and now they have real-time search, which is great. The thing is that if you do it every week, you're kind of getting inundated with being unfocused. Google algorithmic changes, Google specifically, which I like to use them as an example, is changing maybe about once a month. So you don't want to sit there and have to watch it all the time. Of course, if you get into the real-time search of Google Analytics, you may sit there and watch it as people come and go from your website in real time. But really, don't spend more time than that. Unless, of course, you are blogging. Then you want to make sure there's quality content on your website. So that type of search engine optimization, most definitely. But don't keep running reports to see where you're at every week, because it may fluctuate. Right now we're in the holidays. So if you're a retailer, you're going to go higher. And then you're going to come lower again because of trends.
That makes sense. Now, if you are engaging, or someone engages with an SEO person, do you have to give them the keys to the website, so to speak? In other words, you have to really get in there and look at the code, or, I mean, that seems scary to some people, I would think, in terms of security. What do you have to do that?
You don't have to give them the keys. Honestly, I don't want the keys, because if I have the keys, I have a chance to go into some programming that I may not be familiar with. A lot of the CMS systems I am familiar with, and a lot of the coding I am familiar with. But I can see the source code On the back end, without having any access to the websites, I also ask for Google Analytics access to read the reports to see how everything's coming out. But in all honesty, the SEO people, the quality SEO experts out there, I hate to use the word experts because it's always changing and we're not really experts, but the quality SEO consultants and strategists are going to have their own formulas and their own algorithmic changes that they really don't need to get on the back end. The only time they need to get on the back end is if you're asking them to implement something and you feel comfortable with it. Otherwise, you can have your webmaster do it themselves, or you can do it yourself depending on what your platform is. If you have a CMS, I actually go and tell my clients this is exactly where you need to go in WordPress, say. I tell them this is the field, this is, you copy and paste this, and you're done. That's the way it should be. It should not be difficult for any company to do it because they are not the SEO experts.
Well, that makes it great. That makes it a lot easier. Now, we've only got a couple of minutes left, Shannon, and this has been really great. And I'd like to ask you this question. I like to ask everybody this. Where do you see this all going? You know, it's such a rapidly changing environment. You talk about things happening from one week to the next. If you could take a snapshot of, say, the next, as far out as you can, 2 years, 3 years, you know, with video and SEO and all this together, you know, where do you think things are going next?
Dynamic content, viral sharing, social media. The three main areas. It's all about speaking to other people and building a community and sharing the information online. So no matter what platform you pick, if you pick video, if you pick Twitter, if you pick Facebook, everyone is totally different for the social medias. But if you are engaging with your social circle, those people are then sharing that information that they find worthy. And you want to share it on a level that they understand. So just sharing something with the blog title that you've given something without saying exactly how it's quality and why it's going to change somebody else's life and make their lives better, you're not doing any justice. If you're sharing it saying, I like this article because number 6 resonates with me out of the 7 tips for SEO, that makes more sense. So you want to share, because by 2013, I believe it is, 80% of all internet usage is going to be mobile based. So iPads, iPhones, Android, whatever it may be, you have to make the information easy to access, you have to make sure that it's easy to share, and that you're able to convert correctly on your website. So one thing that I keep in tow here is, if you get your hands on any other mobile technology, check your website and your social media and any other platforms out. Excuse me, I don't know why that beeped. Check any of those type of platforms out to see how your website and your brand is all relating to the mobile market. Because mobile is going to be key. If people cannot find you on a mobile device, then you're going to have a problem.
Sure. And one other kind of a follow-up question to that. We talk about these trends going on and you know, all of this stuff happening. You know, when I look at Twitter, and a lot of us do, it seems like it's kind of like the yard sale in your neighborhood where you go out and you see the stuff that everyone had out last year. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you sell a little candlestick and then it just kind of works its way around the neighborhood and there's not a lot new going on. What do you do to make yourself stand out in that sea of regurgitating material that just goes round and round, it appears to be?
You want to find a target niche on Twitter. You have to know, when I tell people about social media, the 3 things is you need to know your time, your goals, and your personality. You need to know how much time you want to devote online, what your goals are you trying to get more traffic or any of that, or trying to convert, and what your personality is. That's the main key. So for Twitter, what is your personality? Are you a person, are you a tea snob like myself, or a coffee lover? Do you have dogs or do you not have dogs? What do you want to convey online? Are you just a logo? So conveying that passion online allows people to reshare. It's funny because a lot of the things that are shared online are things that other people are passionate about. So if you're just saying, we just signed a $1 million deal, well, what does that have to do with me? If you tell me that you have a new client that is a dog lover, say a dog lover company is starting, and they're going to sell U.S. made only shirts. Great, okay, now I'm going to reshare that. Now I'm going to give that to my target audience which is another 1,500 Twitter people, or tweeps as we call them. So you have to make sure that you have the sharing capability down. The passion equals the viralness of something. And also share frequently. Understand by using something like Google Analytics, see what's coming in from where, see what your time lots are. Maybe you're better in the morning, your customers like your tweets better in the morning and follow them. Great, now you know when to target those tweets.
Good. Well, that's very helpful. Thanks so much, Shannon. I know you've got to get someplace and we're about out of time, so we appreciate your being with us, and I hope you don't get too cold out in the Milwaukee weather today.
I will try not to. Who knows what Milwaukee weather is going to give me.
And I'm sure it's only beginning, isn't it?
That it is. On come the blizzards.
Well, thanks a lot. And I just want to remind everyone that today's chat has been sponsored by the 10daymarketingmakeover.com and Gil Efron, author of the book, How to Give Your Business an Extreme Marketing Makeover, which is available at Amazon.com. The principles found in Gil's book are the foundation of how we approach marketing video at MarketVid. And basically, Gil has a great approach about looking for the points of constraint in your sales process, identifying what those are, and targeting those specifically, because that way you're really marketing to something that makes a difference, and we like that approach. Let's see, our next Friday web chat will be next year, believe it or not, January 6th. We're going to take a break for the holidays. We've got a great guest, Scott Wallace of Studio Wallace in Eugene, Oregon, will be with us, and we'll be talking with Scott about the importance of graphics to enhance video and other marketing communications and what value that has. Free registration for the event is open now, and I encourage you to sign up right away, and we have other events filling up beyond that, and you're welcome to register for those too. This web chat has been recorded and will be available soon in the Friday web chats area of MarketVid.com, so it'll also be on YouTube, so you can share it at will, and the entire 30-minute broadcast will be there. Shannon, thanks again. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Have a great weekend, have a great holiday with your family and friends, and we'll see you on January 6th. Bye-bye.